Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Playmakers Ball Podcast. This is the NFL edition. We are getting ready for the NFL opening night. But before we get into that, today, Dallas Glenn is not with me because he's out enjoying his anniversary. Happy anniversary to my partner, Dallas Glenn. But filling in for him is somebody else that we know good and well, Ken Moore. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Football season, Ken.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, before we get into what I want to get into, first, we got to talk about the two big stories this week. Ken, you got your running back in the fold.
And you got your quarterback.
So, Zeke Elliott has inked a $90 million deal, 50 guaranteed over this next 6 years. Ken, how you feel to have Zeke back in the fold?
Feel real good, man. I never really, honestly, ever really concerned. I knew it was going to work out at some point. And, like we talked about earlier, I think it was just a matter of seeing who was going to blink. And clearly, Jerry Jones wanted to blink. So I'm happy for Zeke that he's getting his money because running backs really are undervalued in today's NFL. So I'm just glad to see him get paid, and I'm glad to see him in the fold. And he should be ready to go for week 1 against the Giants.
And in another news, as Kim brought up, my quarterback, Jared Goff, he got paid $134 million with $110 guaranteed for the next 4 years added on extension, which is surprising. I didn't think he was going to get that much, to be honest. But he getting paid more than Carson Wentz, so that says something.
Yeah, I think he just reset the market is all that was, because I think Carson Wentz got I saw today 109.9, he got 110. So I just think he reset the market. So, guys like Dak are real happy to see that.
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
So, yeah, it's a good.
And how do you feel as a Cowboy fan knowing that most likely the next quarterback to get an extension is Dak Prescott?
Oh, for sure. He's going to get his money. I mean, the quarterback position is always going to be the highest paid position in the game. So I'm sure he's going to reset the market whenever he gets signed. And I like the fact that they're waiting, because to me, Dak has been more of a game manager than he has been a game changer. So I'm really looking to see if he's going to take that next step this year to be more of a game changer as opposed to a game manager.
So the question is, because, with us, we paid Aaron Donald, we paid Todd Gurley, we paid Brandon Cooks when we got him. Marcus Peters, we paid him when we got him. We already signed Robert Woods to an extension. The last piece was pretty much Jared Goff. Y'all still have Dak Prescott and Amari.
Yeah, again, it's not a concern because if there's one thing is that Jerry Jones wants to win, so he's going to do what it takes to win. And I mean, guys have gotten, he's already, we talk about Zeke, but he extended Lyle Collins today as well, and he extended Jalen Smith a few weeks back. So we know that he's willing to spend the money. So it's just a matter of working out the terms. So I'm not concerned at all.
All right. So Zeke got his money. Jared Goff got an extension. We'll see who's next on the list. Most likely it will probably be Dak Prescott. With that being said, it is opening week of the NFL season. So, Ken, what are you expecting from this season?
I think you're going to have the usual suspects, for lack of a better term. Although we do know that there's always one team that kind of comes out of nowhere every season. It seems like in the NFL to kind of make some noise. And so it'll be interesting to see who that team is. But, of course, being a Cowboys fan, I'm looking forward to see what we do. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kansas City is going to do, see how they can follow up last year. New Orleans, of course, you got the Patriots, defending champions, who are always a contender. And I'm interested, actually, one team I'm interested in seeing is the Colts, to see how they respond to after losing Andrew Luck to retirement. So that's going to be a team that's going to be interesting to watch, especially, being in our area where we are. seeing the NFC South and seeing them go against the Jaguars twice a year. So I'm gonna keep an eye on them. I want to see how Jacoby Jones is gonna look.
You know, you weren't with us last week, but we got into the Andrew Luck thing. So what was your take on Andrew Luck returning the way he did?
I definitely was surprised, for sure. But one thing I always I'm a stickler for is I don't question guys when it comes to injuries. And it's clear, to me, it's clear that this guy just really just ran out of – he just got tired. He just got tired of the whole process of the rehab. And, you know, he had to sit out a whole year for a shoulder. Now he's got this calf and ankle situation. I guess probably looking at Kevin Durant and seeing what happened to him. He just didn't – I just don't think he was up for the possibility of having to deal with another major injury. But I don't think he's done. I think he may sit out a year, maybe sit out 2 years and get his body back healthy, and then I can see him coming back.
All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's dive into week one. It's the 100th season of the NFL. 100. And how do they kick it off? They kick it off with the oldest rivalry in the game of football. Thursday night, Aaron Rodgers has a new coach. So he has a new system. But he going against the reigning defending NFC North champions at the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field. What are you expecting from opening night?
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to put on the show. I think he's been hearing a whole lot of people kind of questioning his leadership, questioning, you know, whether or not he ran the coach out of town, and, you know, hearing all these things about him not maybe being a guy. And I think that tomorrow he's going to make a big time statement to let the league know that he's still that guy.
Oof. I want to see Matt LaFleur as Stephen A. put it. I want to see what this offense is going to look like. It's not supposed to be predictable no more now because it's a new system.
Yeah, and he's giving them freedom to make calls at the line of scrimmage. So, you know, really, the offense is in Aaron Rodgers' hands. So that's why I really think he's gonna make a point to really make a statement tomorrow night, just to let people know that this is my team, this is my offense, and I can move down the field at will at any point in time.
But at the same time, this is the defending North champions of the Chicago Bears, who still have this defense.
Khalil Mack is a problem.
We're going to see, can Mitchell Trubisky continue to grow and mature at the quarterback position? But one thing, you know, Dallas is picking the Bears. I'm going to throw that out there. Dallas is picking the Bears. I'm picking the Bears because the defense, and they got rid of Jordan Howard, but they drafted David Montgomery from Iowa State. I think Green Bay, you don't know what you're going to get from rookies. I believe, because I'm pretty sure they're going to split the carries between him and Cohen. They're not going to give the whole load to Cohen. I'm expecting David Montgomery to put on the show as well.
Really? Well, I know the Packers, you know, made some moves to address their defense as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this young fella comes out in his first game.
So I'm expecting David Montgomery to do his thing. And it's the best defense, So
yeah, no question about that.
So I say Chicago going to survive at home, even though Aaron Rodgers is going to try to make a point, as you said. But I like Chicago at home.
I'm going to go with the Packers and go with that bad man to come out on top.
So that being said, let's go to one that's going to be hard to decide. The Atlanta Falcons. Everybody's back. Everybody's healthy. Except for Julio. They don't know if he's going to play or not. And they still trying to work out his new contract that's coming up. They are at the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins. All right, this is another year for you. You didn't make it happen the first go around. Here's your second go around. You got Dalvin Cook back in the fold. You still got your wide receiver core with Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph at the tight end position. And you got one of the elite, you got one of the elite defenses as well. They kind of didn't show it last year because they was on the field too much. But if the offense do what they need to do, you got a defense to back you up. So it's the Falcons and the Vikings. I went with Minnesota. Dallas went with Atlanta. I think it's going. I think Minnesota can escape with this one because Atlanta they getting a lot of players back from injury, so I don't know how they gonna feel coming back. Dalvin Cook is ready to prove that he is a starting running back. So we're gonna see what Dalvin Cook is doing, and maybe this time they're not gonna put much of the load on Kirk Cousins this year. They're gonna use Dalvin Cook a little bit more. So what you got, Ken?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
I was like, what you got on Atlanta and Minnesota?
I would have picked Atlanta if this whole contract situation with Julio wasn't up in the air. But with that being up in the air, and like you said, Devontae Freeman coming back and Julio kind of being iffy, I'm going to go with you and go with the Vikings at home.
All right. Now, let's get to my LA Rams are on the road, going to Carolina to take on Cam Newton and the Panthers. They saying Cam Newton is sure to be 100% go in this game, but I don't like the fact that you got injured in preseason and you got the best player in the NFL and Aaron Donald coming in and get the first dips at you. Yeah, you got Christian McCaffrey. Everybody's on him. They want to hire him like I was last year, so now they starting to see why I was high on Christian McCaffrey now. But you is playing against the number one player in the NFL. You is playing against one of the top offenses, scoring offense in the league. So can Carolina hang out with could be a shootout, or would they get blown out? It's the question because I'm picking the Rams. Dallas picked the Rams. Ken, what you got?
Yeah, I'm with you guys in terms of the Rams. I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up. Carolina, I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up. And with Cam potentially being not 100%, because look, that high ankle sprain, that's a tough injury to come back from. So that's going to potentially impact his mobility. And he's not the same quarterback without his mobility. So I don't think that he can just sit in the pocket and just beat your guys from the pocket. So I'm going to go with the Rams. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. I think maybe probably about 10 points, 10, 13 points, the Rams win. But I don't see them being able to keep up with them offensively. So I'm going to go with you and go with the Rams.
Hey, we got Cooper Kupp back. Is another thing. That's a good thing to have him back for this. All right, Ken. As always, the Dallas Cowboys open up against the New York Giants.
Yes, sir.
That seems like that's their favorite opening game. I don't know why.
Staple. The only thing that's different this year is we're not opening up on Sunday Night Football. Usually that's the game that opens up Sunday Night Footballs, but we got the 4:00 this year.
Go ahead, break down your game.
Oh man, it's easy for me. The Giants are kind of in flux. They got the young rookie that's nipping on Eli's heels. Their wide receiver core is kind of in a bit of shambles with Shepard coming back and Golden Tate being out suspended for the first 4 games. So basically it's going to be, the Saquon Barkley show. And I think that plays right into our defensive hands in terms of our speed, with our linebackers, Van Esch and Jalen Smith. And I think we win this game pretty easily. I'm going to say by 2 touchdowns. And just think, I think we ease Zeke in. I don't think it's going to be all full go in terms of Zeke being full go in the game plan. But I think he's going to get some touches and be effective. And I think we win this game pretty easily. So I'm picking my Cowboys for sure.
You expecting Tony Pollard to go ahead and take some of the load off at the start of the season? He showed some
flashes in the preseason. So I think they give him they kind of ease Zeke into the flow so that to kind of mitigate any possibility of injuries.
Yeah, Tony Pollard from Memphis. That was a good choice by y'all.
Yeah, like I said, he showed some flashes
I think
of being a playmaker in the running game. And what I'm really excited about is the fact that our line is back intact. Travis Frederick was out all of last season, and I'm just really excited to see him back and have the full five all together again, and see how we can really just punish people up front.
see one thing is y'all got Randall Cobb, and when I seen that I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, and that's an upgrade.
they
Cole
got Randall
Beasley
Cobb.
Was a great slot receiver for his time with us, but I think Randall Cobb is an upgrade over him. So I'm excited to see him, and look out for Michael Gallup. He's a deep threat who can stretch the field. So I'm looking for some big things from him this year too, along with Amari Cooper.
Yeah, me and Dallas, we both picked Dallas's receiving core is in
Yeah, it's gonna
flux.
be a long year for the Giants.
You count down when they're just gonna say, all right, Eli, your run has come to an end. We got to put in Daniel Jones now.
Yeah, I think he'll get the first few
Until then,
weeks, maybe 5-6 games or something like that. And if they get off to a really bad start, if they're like say 2-4 or 1-5 or something like that, they're gonna go ahead and pull the plug on Eli and start the Daniel Jones era.
until then, it's the Saquon
Oh, for
Barkley
sure.
show.
Until then, even with Daniel Jones, whoever's that quarterback, it's gonna be the Saquon Barkley show.
That's basically it if you're a Giants fan. It's
No
Saquon
question about
Barkley.
it.
You don't know what type of defense you're gonna have. So it's yeah. I gotta pick the Cowboys. Sunday night football. Another banner going up at Gillette Stadium. And I really hate saying that.
I bet you do.
New England at home. Hang up another banner, another ceremony, the 6-1. Tom Brady still talking about he's going to play until he's 45. He's already 42. So Josh Gordon is being reinstated. He should be ready to go for week 1. They re-signed Demarius Thomas after cutting him, which was not a surprise. You still got them running backs in Burkhead and Michelle and James White. Only thing they don't got is Gronk. That's about it. But here come the new look Pittsburgh Steelers. No Le'Veon, no Antonio Brown, no distractions. It's Ben, Juju, James Conner. Last time the Patriots opened up at home on Sunday night with a banner, they played against Kansas City with Alex Smith at quarterback. And if I remember correctly, I think Kansas City won that game. It was a shootout. That's when Kareem Hunt showed what he can do when nobody didn't know it. This time, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that pretty much Bill Belichick in New England has been owning for the past decade. So, Ken, the old champions or the new look Steelers?
I'm going with the champions. The New England it's going to be an interesting transition in terms of not having that big weapon of Gronk. But like you said, they still have plenty of other weapons to go to in terms of those wideouts and running back core. So, and I think Pittsburgh, while they're without the distractions and without the drama, at the end of the day, talent wins out for the most part. You can have great chemistry, but if you don't have talent, it's hard to win. So I just don't see how they can keep up offensively with the Patriots, especially at home and, coming off the whole celebration and all that stuff. I just think they're going to come out and just say, this is business as usual and handle their business and take down the Steelers.
Dallas picked New England. And Dallas made this statement when it came to I think we was talking about the Big Ten in college football. And he was like, you can keep on being that New York Jets fan that keep picking against the Patriots. Because he went with Ohio State, and I gave John Harbaugh one more go at it to win the Big Ten. I'm gonna do it again. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I'm gonna roll with Ben. Ben is out to prove something, just like Aaron Rodgers is out to prove something. Ben is out to prove something too.
I agree.
And then it's the fact that there's another celebration ceremony for the New England Patriots. Let's hang up banner number 6. Let's get our rings and all this other stuff. I think Pittsburgh coming in with a mindset of let them celebrate so we can crash it. James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, do not overlook James Washington. James Washington is almost just like Juju Smith-Schuster, to be honest. He can run every route. He can catch the ball. You just didn't hear him enough because it's Antonio Brown and it's Juju Smith-Schuster, so you knew one of the two going to get the ball. It's just who you going to take out first. But now James Washington going to get his opportunity. So I'm looking at Pittsburgh to sneak out a 3-point victory up in Gillette Stadium. I'm gonna roll the dice on that. Now, as usual, as opening week, you get 2 Monday Night Football games. And this one, we're gonna start with the later one, around the 10:20 mark. The Denver Broncos take on the new look Oakland Raiders. We all know this. Antonio Brown's in Oakland. They did draft Josh Jacobs, the running back from Alabama, which was also a great pick. If I must say, they did get Colin Farrell from Clemson, another great pick. They signed Tyrell Williams from the Chargers. Derek Carr has some weapons. John Gruden trying to build a team now. The question is, can they get it done? That's the question. Me and Dallas, we don't think so because we taking Denver. I'm going to roll with Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco, he has a man that sounds on one side, Cortland Sutton on the other side. Cortland Sutton is a big receiver. Cortland Sutton can go up and get the ball. Don't miss that. You still got Phillip Lindsay in the backfield, who was an undrafted free agent last year and made it to the Pro Bowl, running for over 1,000 yards. Let's not overlook that. You need Bradley Chubb on one side, Von Miller on the other side. You still got the secondary. The secondary is still good. So don't sleep on the defense of Denver. So I'm taking me and Dad's taking Denver. Ken, what you got?
I agree with you guys on that one as well. I just think the continual dysfunction in Oakland, I don't think it just gets fixed overnight just because Antonio Brown is back in camp. And I was just watching a little earlier before we got on, is that he posted on Instagram the letter that he got about his fine from the team. So I just don't know. I just think this guy might continue to just be a distraction all year long. And again, like I said earlier, chemistry is a big part of building a team to go along with talent. And you can have talent, great talent, and bad chemistry. And, we've seen the results of that. So I'm not sure. I just think that bad chemistry and that vibe just continues on in Oakland of dysfunction. So I'm going to go with Denver. I'm not really totally sold on Denver just yet because I'm not a really big Joe Flacco fan. I don't know how many weapons he has to work with. We talked about Emmanuel Sanders and the big receiver and Lindsey. I don't know if all three of those guys are game changers per se, but in terms of them beating the Raiders, I'm going to go with them coming out on top on week 1 versus the Raiders, though. But I don't see how they're going to be long term.
Just in case y'all missed, Antonio Brown was fined $54,000 for all the preseason missed workouts and missed practices, stuff like that. Because honestly, you chose to miss those because you was mad about a helmet. A helmet.
Yep.
I did not know a helmet was that valuable.
Apparently.
For you to play the game of football. Tom Brady changed his helmet. He don't like it, but he did it anyway. Aaron Rodgers had to change his helmet. He don't like it, but he did it anyway. And he's the quarterback. And these like the quarterbacks of these are the faces of these two teams. You go to Oakland and you causing a problem over a helmet. But I'm gonna leave that alone. But before Denver and Oakland get at it, the Houston, Texas, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, they traded for Lamia Tunsil from Miami. They also got Kenny Stills in that trade. Will Fuller's back healthy. They traded for Carlos Hyde. Lamar Miller is gone for the season. But they are in the Superdome to take on Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. You know, these guys, this offense is just ridiculous, especially in a primetime game at home in the New Orleans Saints. Can Deshaun pull it off at the Dome?
No, I don't think so. It's very hard for me to pick against Drew Brees at home. And like you said, in those primetime games, they really tend to put on a show. And although I like the pieces that Houston have given Deshaun to work with, Kenny Stills, I think, is going to be a good addition. And I think they actually got Duke Johnson was the running back that they traded for.
They got Duke Johnson too. They got Duke Johnson too.
They definitely have added some tools and some toys for Deshaun to play with. So I think they're going to be good over the long haul of this season. But this is a tough chore for them to go into New Orleans and beat Drew Brees and those guys at home. And Drew Brees and those guys think they should have been in the Super Bowl last year, so they're trying to make a statement as well. So I think they come out real big, and I don't see them losing to the Texans.
I ain't gonna get into that just yet.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
I'm not gonna get into that, but it is what it is. I mean, it's no big. It's New Orleans at home Monday Night Football. Man, that was me picking Drew Brees and everybody know I love Deshaun Watson. I'm the biggest Deshaun Watson fan, but man, you going to the Big Easy against Drew Brees in his own home on a Monday Night Football game.
Tough chore.
I can't pick against that, man. I can't do it. There's no way I can do it. So, but is there any game that we didn't talk about that's got your eye for this opening week?
I'll be interested to see how Cleveland comes out. Because there's been a lot of hype surrounding them. So I think I'm.
So you're talking about Cleveland and Titans?
I'm gonna have my eye on that game, just to see how they come out the gates. Because again, there's been a lot of hype and a lot of talk about them being one of the teams to look out for in the AFC. So I'm gonna be interested to see how they come out against the Titans. So I'll be watching that game.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, no Kareem Hunt until week 9, week 10. I think service suspension. They still got a defense, and then you don't know what you're getting from Tennessee. You don't know what you're going to get from Marcus Mariota.
Exactly. Or how long he's going to hold on to that job now that that they traded for Miami's quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, so that's why that one I'll keep my eye on. And that besides the fact I got Jarvis Landry as one of my wide receivers on one of my fantasy teams, so I'll be watching him for that too.
Oh Lord. I'm looking right here where we at. Jacksonville Jaguars, because y'all are welcoming the reigning MVP and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good luck.
Now, fun fact here. Patrick Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns, right?
He did.
He ain't thrown out one against Jacksonville.
Well, I think that changes this week.
So now, there's no Kareem Hunt. Obviously, they got LaShawn McCoy, who was surprisingly cut by the Bills.
Yeah, who knows what they're doing.
And then, Andy Reid picked them up. You still got Damian Williams, who filled in admirably when Kareem Hunt had to be let go. Very happy. You still got Travis Kelce. Tyreek Hill is not suspended, so he will be playing in this. Sammy Watkins should be healthy, but who knows for how long. But you still got the Jaguars defense. That's still a top 3, top 5 defense in the league, won't you say?
Oh, yeah. But they're going to have their hands full on Sunday because that is a prolific offense coming into town from Kansas City.
They got a quarterback. They got Nick Foles at the helm now. So now are we going to see D.D. Westbrook get off? What is Leonard Fournette going to do this season? The question is on the offensive side. You got your quarterback now.
You do,
But can he work with the weapons he got?
and
So
do they have enough weapons? I think that's really the big question. Nick Foles is a solid quarterback, but I don't know if Dede Westbrook and Leonard Fournette is enough in terms of game changers for them to be a really powerful offense. I think that's going to be the question all year.
all right. So going back to Thursday night, I did a social media poll at 107 votes between Green Bay and Chicago. 64 other votes went to Chicago, 43 went to Green Bay. That turns out to be a 60-40 split in favor of Chicago. So, Ken, you in the minority in this one. You with the 40% on this one. So that basically shows a lot of people are banking on Chicago this season. So me and Dallas will do our division picks and stuff next week since his anniversary was this week. So we'll have that ready for you. I already know who I'm picking in these divisions. I'm pretty sure he already know who he picking in these divisions. So we'll have that set. And Ken, you brought up fantasy football.
I did.
Who are you not starting on your fantasy team?
Oh, that's a great question. I still have it. I haven't decided yet. I have 2 teams this year that actually dropped my league. So that's an interesting question because I haven't made my final decisions yet. But one and Julio Jones is definitely going to be one of my up to kickoff decisions because I need to know if he's going to be starting because Julio he's that guy. So that's going to be one of the ones that I have to make a decision on. So that's going to be my biggest one. I have to make a decision on whether or not I start Julio Jones. That's the biggest one.
No, I'm with you on that one. Because the thing is, I got Michael Thomas, I got Julio, I got Tyler Lockett, and I got Alshon Jeffrey. So don't ask me how I end up with that receiving core. Just know some people that we mutually know they messed up.
Yeah, I think I know who we're talking about, but we'll that's another subject for another day.
So that Julio, I need to know on Julio. I need to know on Julio. So let me know because I got 3 other receivers I can go with no problem. Now, who are you starting for sure though?
Who am I starting for sure? Leonard Fournette, that's one. So I'm gonna be interested. That's another reason why I'm gonna be interested in that Kansas City game.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Todd Gurley for sure. Okay. He's starting. Matt Ryan is for sure starting. Josh Gordon, probably gonna start him. And Evan Ingram, I'm gonna start him at tight end. So those are my for sures. It's just the question of whether or not I'm going to start. Julio Jones probably the only one that's up in the air. Everybody else pretty much locked in. I look at it.
I got a decision. Do I go Jared Goff or do I go Dak Prescott?
Oh, that's actually a tough call.
I know. That's a tough one for me.
Yeah, because Dak is probably going to be throwing the ball a little more with, like I said, them kind of easing. But you know what, though? Be honest with you, I probably would go with Goff because even with if it's going to be Pollard getting some touches, our offense is primarily centered around the run. So even when Dak has a good game, he only usually does like maybe 200, 250. He's not that guy that's going to put up that 300-yard game. So I probably would go with Goff if I had to pick.
That's a good one. Now, we did this last year. I remember this very vividly, too. I chose Christian McCaffrey as the person to look out for. Y'all didn't believe me when I said this. And Chris McCaffrey did his thing last year.
Yeah, he did.
That's David Montgomery for me this year.
That's actually not a bad call because he's gonna definitely get the majority of the touches because Tariq Cohen is more of that change of pace and that third down guy. So that's a good call.
I would go with Miles Sanders, but the fact that Jordan Howard's at Philly as well, I don't know how they're gonna work that running back group. But if you're looking for some rookies, look at these running backs because Miles Sanders can go. Pretty much, Miles Sanders was doing the same thing Saquon Barkley was doing at Penn State. So you can pretty much say they almost got a Saquon Barkley 2.0 up in Philly. And David Montgomery, if you watch preseason and you watch any Chicago Bears preseason game, you've seen it for yourself what this boy can do. So those are my two rookies I'm looking at. And I'm gonna leave it right there. Ken, thank you for hopping in absence of Dallas.
Man, anytime.
Hopefully next time the three of us will be on at the same time. But I'll be doing a college football podcast, and I have somebody from Offensive Access come in. We're gonna talk about week 1. We're gonna recap it, especially the SEC, the East Division, which is my division since I'm a Gator fan. We did not look good in week 1. A couple of teams, quite a few teams got upset out of that conference. We got a brand new group of top 5 list for you. Look out for that, and we're going to get you ready for week 2 because week 2 is a good one. Real quick, Ken, what college game you looking forward to the most for week 2?
Probably that Texas A&M Clemson game. You know, it's the first big test for Clemson, so that's probably the one I'm looking at.
Mostly that might be the only test for Clemson.
Look out for Syracuse, though. Syracuse beat them a couple of years back, so don't count them out.
Yeah. But yep, that game and also LSU and Texas. That's the game of the week right there. So get you ready for that. Next week, Dallas will be back. We'll do our division picks. We'll pick our wild cards. We'll get everything straightened out. So that's all we got for you. From right here in the Playmakers Bar Podcast, your boy, the Playmaker, signing out. Until next time.